What's up, homie? My brother, my sister, whatever you may be, my brister. If your jeans are a little confused. So, this is my first YouTube video, so bear with me, y'all. Got my green juice here, and just loving it, man. So good, so good. So I figured I'd document here my journey a little bit for those who are wondering what a juice fast is like. Today marks my 47th day in a solid food vacation, aka juice feast, aka juice fast. A lot of people thought I'd be dead by now. I'm not even joking. A lot of people thought I'd be dead, but I'm alive and kicking. And I'm out here recording in good old nature, Mother Nature. Not gonna lie, it feels pretty good, recording out here in nature. It's nice. It's different. It's nice. Feels good. So, well, the first week was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. Adjusting to the liquid diet, not eating any food. It wasn't too bad either though, because I've been on the vegan path for a little while, so I've been, my body's been clean. I would presume, if you eat a lot of junk food, a lot of meat and things like that, it'll probably be a little bit tougher for you. But I also think that there's a lot of mentality going into it. There's the placebo effect and whatnot. If you go in thinking it's going to be hard, it will be hard. If you go in thinking it's going to be easy, then it's probably going to be easy for you. One of the things, I follow John Rose, so I follow his protocol. Thank you, my man. And doing it for several reasons. Well, one of the reasons, obviously, is to clean out the body. And as far as I understand, basically we have two fluids in our body, and I'm getting all this from John Rose. I don't proclaim to know all these things. I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, but I am a scientist in regards to my body and experimenting with it and seeing what works and what doesn't. Because ultimately, man, my thing is I want to be independent of what the hell the experts think, especially if you follow nutrition. I don't know if you guys know this, but one day one guy will say spinach is good for you, and the next day spinach is not good for you because it's got mycotoxins, and nobody agrees on anything. And the same person will come back a week later and tell you that, I was wrong about this, this stuff actually is bad because of this, and this. So it's like, why do we have to depend on other people's science, which may be skewed, to know what's good and what's bad? And how come animals, like if you feed a bird something, right away it pecks at it and it knows whether it's good for it or not, it knows right away, and every other animal seems to have that, but we humans are the only ones that have to look to a doctor to know if it's good for us or bad for us. We seem to have lost that sense. And from what I get from a lot of testimonials I've seen, the juice feasting seems to basically recalibrate your body and get your body back in line with that, your body and your mind, to where you become more intuitive about what foods are good for you, what's not. And after the juice feast, because you're so clean, once you start to break the fast and you start to add other foods in, you already know what your stool looks like. You already know what it feels like to digest something and how long it takes. So you can start to experiment more and more. You can try a different fruit or a different vegetable or a different whatever type of food. See how long it takes to go through your system, how you feel in the meantime. And obviously, if something's taking too long to go through the system, then it probably shouldn't be in there. And that's what John Rose made me realize. And that's what I liked about him. I liked his practicality with all this. where he made it, he made it very simple and something that you can test out for yourself, which no other nutritionists seem to talk about. Now, going back to the two fluids, basically we have the lymph system, we have our blood that basically feeds the cells. It brings all the food, all the energy to the cells, if you will. And then the lymph system is basically like the bathroom where it takes all the waste matter out of the cells. And due to us being so plugged up, our colons are larger, more inflamed than they're supposed to be, with all kinds of things that aren't supposed to be there. Our intestines will swell, and a lot of digestive tracts in our body. And what happens is that when you go on a juice feast, basically cleanses all of that out. It cleanses out the colon. It goes back to a normal, smaller size, and it becomes kind of like a vacuum, if you will, to suck up all the waste matter from the cells. Because what happens is when the lymph system is backed up and it's got so much waste matter in it that's plugged up, then what happens is the cells and their divine wisdom, whatever you want to call it, they don't release their waste matter out into the lymph system, because they know if the body dies, it dies as well. And so it just holds it. And then you get a lot of inflammation and disease, cancerous cells, all kinds of things. And again, if you want more information on all these things, I would highly recommend just follow John Rose, follow his YouTube channel, because he explains this all very well, and he seems to be the most knowledgeable nutritionist I know out there. And what I like about him is that he experiments with his own body. He hasn't been experimenting for years, and the guy's a mathematician, the guy's a scientist, and he tells you things straight up, and he's very practical with it. So I've been following this the juice feast now for 47 days again. First week, like I said, a little bit rough, and then things just got better and better from there. I've been having far more energy. A lot of times these things are subtle, like you won't realize it until like you kind of look back and you're like, whoa. When I used to like hit the bag, like this is a real example for me. I box, I train in boxing and Wing Chun as well, and when I hit the bag for a while and I'm hitting flurries, I used to get tired at a certain point. I know what that point is, and I was going past that point. Like now when I hit the bag, I have so much energy, I can just go on all day, it feels like. And I have more stamina. Even when I played basketball the other day, and man, I was running back and forth because I like to think I play good defense, you know what I mean? So I'm running back and forth. It's a full court game, and I'm constantly running. Like I never stopped, I'm running the entire time, and I never got winded. And it wasn't even until afterwards I'm like, wow, how did that happen? Like I would normally get winded at some point, running back and forth down the court, and never did. It's almost like I feel like a freaking Superman or something. So that's cool, the energy, the clarity. I have so much more focus now. Like at work, I can concentrate a lot better when I do put my mind to it. And it sounds funny, but I even feel like I'm getting more intelligent or something. This is just another side of... Another reason that I had gotten into the juice feast, and this again goes back to John Rose. He was the first one that spoke about biophotons and basically how cells communicate through light. And there's more and more studies going into this. And he believes that we basically lost our sixth sense due to the food that we're eating. And fruits and vegetables have the highest biophotons. And basically when you eat these things, and when you're only on these things, especially when you're on a juice fast, your biophoton levels go way up. And every living organism emits light. This is something that's like coming out more and more into the mainstream. More and more people are finding out about it. And I'm not gonna lie, and sorry John Rose, but when I first heard John Rose say this, talk about the biophotons, I thought it was like new age mumbo jumbo, to be honest. But I also follow Bulletproof Radio, which is another thing I'd recommend. Bulletproof Radio is pretty cool. And this guy's always bringing people that are at the forefront of their field. Scientists, doctors, people working with NASA, people working at the forefront of whatever endeavor they're in. So very credible people in their craft, masters of their craft, if you will. And he brought in several people that actually spoke on biophotons, people that were researching these things. So it is a real thing, and again, there's more and more studies being done on it, and it is measurable, and it is measurable, and basically the juice feast makes your biophoton count go way up. So they've basically correlated your biophoton levels, the amount that you have. The healthier you are, the more you have, the more vibrant you are. And when you have disease or anything like that, your biophoton level count go down. With juice feasting, it goes up. Again, just follow John Rose on that, or do your own research. You know, I don't proclaim to be a health expert or anything like that. I'm just speaking from my experience. And what I can say is that I definitely feel way more vibrant, way more connected to myself. I feel lighter. Like, sometimes it's weird. Like, it almost feels like, I don't want to say levitating, because that's a strong word, and I'm not really flying, obviously. But it's like, I almost feel like that. Like, I feel like floaty, like, you know, and the tension in my body like pretty much disappeared. Socially, I've become far more adept. I can connect with people more. I could read people more. I dance as well. I'm learning salsa and bachata, and it's like I dance all night now with the juices, that I don't run out of energy, and I don't stop for a second. So, you know, for those who think that, but this is unhealthy, and, you know, you're gonna die, or you're malnutrition or whatever, I don't think you would be, you know, malnutrition and yet have that much energy. You know, when you're sick, when you're malnutritioned, or any type of defect that your body is having, or any instability, it would reflect, you know, in your energy levels. You would feel, if you're sick, you feel sick, and so you respond, you know, in a sickly way, and you feel like you have to rest and lay down, and you don't feel good. I'd find it very difficult to find a case where someone is dying or feeling like shit, yet they have all this, not feeling like shit, even though they're sick and dying. So that's my take. Now, you will lose weight, and especially if you're a skinny person like me, more than likely you'll lose weight. Now, John Rose, he says if you drink at least a gallon a day for most people, but if you're active and younger like I am, you really should be drinking around 2 gallons a day, or even more, depending on your circumstance. You really got to find out what your you know, how many calories you're burning at a rested state, and all those things, which I really don't do. I try to drink like 1.5 gallons a day. That's what I've been doing, and it's been working pretty well for me. I did lose 10 pounds, but then it stabilized there. I haven't been losing any weight since then. I have gained like 1 pound or 2, and then it's gone down, depending on like if I lift weights or not. Which now I haven't lifted weights in 2 weeks, which is kind of why I'm kind of deflated a bit. And that's another thing I noticed, that your body responds a lot quicker to things, to like its needs and whatnot. When I started lifting weights, I noticed an immediate reaction in my muscles. I'd get like really big pumps, and you know, my body would respond like I've never seen it respond before when I used to lift weights. But then likewise, you know, if I don't lift weights, I'm not doing any muscular workout, and especially if I'm dancing, I seem to deflate a little bit. So there is that. But one thing that I've noticed about all the skinny people that do these juice feasts, because I've seen another guy on YouTube that did it as well, and it looks like looked like he lost a lot of weight. He got really skinny. But yet one thing that I noticed also with myself is that it seems to all be fat. Like it's not you don't seem to lose much, if any, of your muscle mass. So what happens is you get skinny, you shrink up, but you keep all the muscle. So it's like, you know, you look kind of shredded. I mean, if you look at me, if I flex, I'm not trying to show off here, just kind of trying to show you. It's like I seem to have kept a lot of my muscle mass, and same thing with some of the other guys that I've seen. Whereas I think if you'd be malnutritioned, Well, if you look at starving people, like, they're just skinny, and they don't look shredded. They don't look healthy at all. Yet when I've seen these other people do it, even though they do look small, they still look healthy, and they still have a good proportion of muscle still in them. To the untrained eye, I think other people would still think they look unhealthy, because as a society we become so sick, so fat, so big, that like anything skinny just looks unhealthy automatically to us. But to me, I see all that muscle percentage, the proportion of muscle that they seem to keep, and it looks healthy to me, even though it's small. So that's one of the concerns that I think many people may have. And then obviously, if you're obese, or you're higher on the weight size, and you don't even have to worry about that. You can just enjoy the benefits of weight loss. So trying to think what else. As far as the juices are concerned, John Rose says drink at least a gallon a day. You're definitely better off overdoing it than underdoing it. You'll never feel bad overdoing it. You're just gonna get more nutrition and feel better. One thing that I've noticed, I used to, when I first started off, and the thing is, once you start off, you kind of start to pick up on a lot of things. So don't worry about having all the nuts and bolts put together before you start. Just get started, and then with your own wisdom, you're gonna find out things that work for you and whatnot. And so one of the things was, I was doing like 3 big meals. So I drink a big juice in the morning, I drink a big juice at noon, at work during break, and then in the afternoon, evening time, I would drink another big jug. So like 3 meals. And I would notice that I'd have these peaks of energy, basically. And then I would come down, and in between the meals, I didn't feel as good, and I felt like a drop in energy levels and things like that. Now, then I noticed in one of other John Rose's videos, he talks about basically keeping your carbohydrate full. Sorry, your carbohydrate tank full at all times, and I was thinking of doing that as well. So I saw that, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And what I started doing was, I would just put them in little jars, and I would bring them with me all the time to work or whatever. Put them in the fridge, and you want to top them off, basically, which means like you keep filling it until it overfills. So then that way, when you cap it, there's no air in it, so it doesn't spoil. And you want to try to drink them within 24 hours, and storing them in small jars. And so what I do is I drink like a pint every hour and a half, 2 hours, or more, depending on how much I juice that day. And since I've been doing that, now I just experience like high energy levels the entire day. So the entire day I feel really good, and every day I've just been feeling better and better, cleaner, lighter. Again, I have even more stamina now, so I'm just looking forward to getting more and more of the benefits. I'm aiming for 92 days. I'm not sure yet how long I'll go with this fast. I may even have to edit some of this video, because I noticed it's going a lot longer than I wanted it to. So maybe even on the description box, I'll have places you could skip to for different parts that you may want to listen to, so so you don't have to go through the whole thing. And so yeah, I may do 92 days. I'm not sure how long I'll go with the fast. Again, so far it's been 47 days, and they say it depends for everybody, but around the days 70 or so is when you start to, when your system is clean and you start to poop juice. Because one thing I'll tell you right now, my stool smells like death. It smells like death. Like, it smells, oh my God, it smells so bad. Which makes me think there's no way that this could be the juice. Vegetables and fruits don't smell that bad, so it must be clearing out my system. And so once you get to a certain level, you start to poop just the juice, and your poop, your shit starts not to stink, for lack of better term. So, which is pretty cool, you can walk around like your shit don't stink, for real though. And so it smells just like whatever you drank, whether it be fruits or vegetables. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point. If I get to that point, maybe I'll just do like a week extra just to make sure everything's really out, and then I'll stop there. If not, I guess I'll go the whole 92 days. Not sure yet again. When I started this, I didn't really set a time date for how long I wanted to do it for, and that's helped me. So I just keep going day by day. And the fact that I know you have to go through a very strict process to break the fast is what keeps me from eating foods. So I'm pretty stuck on it until I decide to stop. So depending on what kind of person you are, like if you're the type of person that if you think about doing something and then you think that it's hard, then don't set a date for yourself. Just start going on the juice fast and just take it day by day. Now, if you're the type of person that like looking, setting a goal and achieving that like means everything to you, and that motivates and strives you, then pick a time frame that you want to do, and then be loose about maybe adding more to it if you wish, just to make sure everything really does cleanse out properly. So that would be my advice to that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, any other advice that I may give. Meditation has been better. Sleep has been better. I'm finally like waking up feeling well rested, which hasn't happened to me since college. Like I'm the type of person I could sleep for 48 hours straight. If I didn't know I'd be that I'm wasting my life doing it, I would sleep for like 48 hours straight. I could, and now I'm waking up really early, and I feel good. I still feel well rested. So that's been interesting to see. The juicing process does take a while, so you do have to, get up a little earlier to get your juicing needs out the way. But then again, you don't have to cook food. You don't have to go out to eat or prepare food, or, like I said, buy food or be waiting in line and driving to places. So it's a little bit easier on that aspect as well. But I'm not gonna lie, it is time consuming, the juicing, and that's really the only negative, only downside I see to this whole thing. Well, that and the social life is gonna be a little bit different because every time you go out to eat and things like that, you're just bringing your juices. At least that's what I'm doing, and everybody else. They might mock you a little bit in the beginning, but then you become the juice guy, and people see how happy you are, and like they can't deny it. After you've gone a few weeks and you haven't died, there's not really much they could say, and then they stop. They stop the worrying about you, at least. So yeah, man, you can bear through it. Definitely do it. I'm gonna try to keep documenting my journey throughout it, and just research it, guys. Like before you get started, just research it. Make sure it's something that you really want to do, and see it all the way through. If you have any questions about my journey, you can go ahead and comment on the video, and I'll get back to you. And so yeah, that's why I did it. I was advised to by a friend to document the journey, and so that's what I'm doing. Also, it's weird, but I've been feeling more connected even to animals as well, and have more compassion for everyone. Definitely far more. I feel at peace all the time, and things just seem to rub right off me. No stress, even at work. I mean, I work at a call center. I'm supposed to be stressed, but I get a bunch of fuck yous from people. It makes me laugh most of the time. Like it's amazing how it's just your emotional stability is going to skyrocket. People wonder why I'm happy all the time, until I'm like, getting my vitamins and minerals. They think it's a joke, but that's really what it is. So it has been a wonderful journey, guys, and I hope this answers some of the concerns you may have. Again, I kind of did this video on the fly, so there's probably a lot of things that I left out. So if you do have any questions or any concerns, just go ahead and comment below. And then if you want to see my future updates, just go ahead and subscribe, and then the YouTube channel will notify you. All right, peace.